Welcome back to part 4 of Detour Hyperion. I'm not going to waste your time with an intro, let's just get right into it. I was looking to start this video off with a bang. There was a new mayor being added called Dante. I was hoping he'd have some perks that would change the price of some items in the bazaar, because I'd be able to invest early and make a lot of money. Now this sounds great, doesn't it? Well, unlucky, because instead, Dante turned Skyblock into communist North Korea, raising auction taxes, making the auction house inaccessible unless they wear a happy mask, and just generally making my life much harder. Thanks, Dante. And that's not all, I also managed to narrowly avoid a massive dupe glitch that happened because of Dante. The admins managed to completely butcher the code for increasing bazaar tax. They managed to create an infinite loop of money duping just by instant buying and selling items. If I would have instant bought and instant sold right here instead of putting in a buy order, I would have probably duped hundreds of millions of coins on accident. Very cool. So Dante's gonna be here for a while, and the extra tax is kind of a pain, but it will discourage other people from flipping when I'm trying to, so maybe it'll balance out. We're at the point now where ending soon auction flipping just isn't gonna cut it. We have too much money and there just aren't enough profitable items being sold on auction. So instead I started with bazaar flipping, but no one cares about bazaar flipping. I made like 2 mil, so let's move on. For my auction flipping, I'm gonna start relying on craft flipping much more. You've seen it before with things like the enchanted book crafts and the bone meringue crafts. Speaking of bone meringue crafts, that was the first flip I did in this session. I bought the spirit bones for about 4 mil each, and all the other items for about 2 mil, which left me with about 1.5 mil profit. The next flip I discovered was crafting storm pieces. You could buy the wither chestplate and the laser eyes for quite a bit less than the storm chestplate would sell for. The prices varied quite a bit, but usually you'd make about 1 mil every time you flipped one of these. I did this flip with a chestplate and also with a pair of leggings. You can also do this with pieces of Necron armor too, and a lot of the time the profit is even better, so that's what I did here, and I made about 1.5 mil. Eventually, my storm chestplate sold. So what did I do? I repeated the exact same thing all over again. The next new flip I did was crafting an ornate zombie sword into a florid zombie sword. For whatever reason, the florid was super overpriced at that time. Now, I don't know why, it came down later, but at that specific time, it was really expensive. So I bought all the items I needed and made myself a free 1 mil from only a 2 mil investment, which is pretty rare. Someone bought it instantly. So what do you do when someone buys it instantly? You do the exact same thing all over again. Next, I tried flipping some overload books, but I'm pretty sure I did some maths wrong somewhere because it was not profitable at all. A lot of the flips that I do in this video are going to be done over and over again throughout the entire video, so we're kind of just going to skip over the ones you've already seen, like this bone meringue flip, because I do this at least 15 times throughout the entire video. And do you really want to watch 15 different bone meringue flips? Well, I hope not. So instead we're going to focus on things like these 8 soul fragments I bought from the bazaar for about 15 mil. Combine these with 12 ectoplasm and you've got yourself a soul whip. And at the time, this was about 1.5 mil profit. I also started doing some more Legion flips because for whatever reason they didn't get ruined when I posted my last video, so I'll take it. Like most of the flips I'm doing right now, these usually give around 1 to 2 mil depending on the prices at the time. A bunch of my items had sold, and so with that money I did more of the same flips that I'd been doing earlier. Bone meringue, florid zombie sword, Necron chestplate, storm leggings, another Necron chestplate, Legion 5 book, storm chestplate, Necron boots, and what's that? Bone meringue flip number 3. You know, fun fact, this is the first time I had ever used a bone meringue before, right here. And it was so much fun. And then I sold it. But then I crafted another one, and another one, and another one. You know, the thing I said earlier about not showing every bone meringue flip might have been a lie. I did some more of the same flips I'd been doing for a while now, until eventually I discovered that treasure rings were profitable to craft too. You could buy 8 of the treasure talismans, craft it into a treasure ring, and you'd make about 600k, and considering the 2.5 mil investment, it's really not too bad. I think when you're flipping, one of the most satisfying things has got to be logging on the next morning and finding that every single one of your auctions has sold. Now obviously this is what happened right here, and I had 70 mil to claim, which was very nice, and it put me at about 82 mil. Surprise bone meringue flip! You weren't expecting it, were you? That's number 7. Alright, I'm getting sick of going through the same flips over and over again. Montage! Wait, 2.89 mil? Now what happened here is my monkey brain doesn't know how to type properly. Somehow I managed to switch the 8 and the 2 when I was typing in the price for the leggings. Look, I even had it right before, but then I put the item in and it reset the price and I had to type it out again. So if you're ever looking for a way to lose a quick 5.4 mil, follow my videos. They work pretty well. Okay, so the next thing that happened was Technoblade was added to the game. Now obviously, I saw this coming a mile away, and so I invested all of my money into grilled pork chops and made an absolute killing. No, I'm just kidding. I was actually fast asleep. I mean, it happened at like 4 AM my time. You know I ain't waking up for that. I may not have made any money off grilled pork, but Technoblade did actually add some things that were very profitable. One of those being the spiked atrocity. Now when this item first released, the margins for crafting it were absolutely ridiculous. You could craft one for about 25 mil and then sell it for 38 mil. So that's exactly what I did. I bought a bait ring and all the other materials I needed and crafted it. So while I was waiting for that to sell, I decided to test out the new auction flipping bot that recently got added to my Discord server. It searches through all of the ending soon auctions and finds the items that have the most potential for profit. For example, this Rod of Legends, which was going for 1.8 mil, but had a bin price of 3.8 mil. Now that is 2 mil of potential profit. Assuming you don't get outbid. Which I did, of course. But you want to know what I didn't get outbid on? This epic Wither Skeleton pet, which I managed to pick up for 237k. Now I put this back up on AH for 830k, which was minimum bin. So for me, that was about 600k profit. And this isn't massive, I've been getting 2 mil on most of my flips, but for a new player, this could be absolutely game changing, going from 250k to 830k. So if you want to test out this bot for yourself, then go ahead and join my Discord server, discord.gg/Nullzee, link will be in the description. I think the bot's currently exclusive to my Discord server, from what I know. So yeah, come give it a try and let me know if it helps you. This next session of flipping is by far the most profitable session I have had so far in this series. I made about 20 mil in only 20 minutes. So this is how I did it. First, I sniped a bunch of spirit bones that were going for about 700k below their normal price. I crafted them into a bone meringue, and then I started looking into spiked atrocities again. The margins were still pretty good. You could make about 5 mil per flip. So I bought a bait ring and all the materials I needed, and crafted it into a spiked atrocity again. We spent about 25 mil, and I was able to put it up on auction for 30.7 mil. So that's about 5.7 mil profit. I was buying diamante handles for a Necron flip when someone bought my bone meringue. This was a free 3 mil profit because I got the spirit bones for so cheap. I crafted the Necron boots, and then while I was trying to put it up, my spiked atrocity sold. Now these things usually take hours to sell because they're kind of uncommon and not many people want to buy them. So for it to sell in 5 minutes is very nice. So what did I do? Well, I claimed my 5 mil profit and then went and crafted another one all over again. I finished up this session of flipping by buying some more spirit bones and doing yet another bone meringue flip. All of that happened in about 20 minutes. And so when I logged on the next day, every single item had sold. And when I claimed all the money, it put me at about 118 mil. And I started at about 98 mil if you include the price of the spirit bones I had on me. So yeah, that 20 minutes was very profitable. After a bit more flipping, I decided to get back into crafting soul whips. One thing I realized though is, why am I insta buying these soul fragments? I can put in a buy order, wait, and I'll get a way better price, which is what I did. So here I'm claiming 5 of those buy order soul fragments, and I was able to craft a soul whip for much cheaper than I would have if I would have just insta bought them. So instead of getting 1 mil profit, you might get 2.5, 3 mil profit. So definitely worth it. So you want to know how I find all my flips, huh? Well, you see, I have this strategy called click on literally any random item in the bazaar and use any to find what the item is used for. Strategy. TM. So as the name implies, what you do is you go into the bazaar and you say, what items could potentially be used to craft expensive things? And once you find the item, you use the handy dandy NEU item usages function by pressing U on your keyboard, and you can see what the item is used for in crafting. And if you don't have NEU, well, firstly, what are you doing? But there should be a link top right to a video I made on it, and you can figure out how to install it there. Anyway, so I was looking through the usages for enchanted iron blocks, and I noticed that tier boosts had massive margins between the core and the actual tier boost item. Crafting one would make you around 5 mil, which is not too bad at all. So I bought a tier boost core and then crafted the main tier boost item. After that, I did a bunch more flipping, but it was honestly just more of the same. By the time I finished, I ended at about 150 mil. But I'm not finished yet. You see, there was a new mayor being elected. And that mayor was Mayor Paul, the dungeon mayor. Now on this profile, we don't really care about mayors too much, and this guy's perks, well, they all really apply to dungeons, and we can't run dungeons. I mean, all we have is money. We don't have any equipment or anything. But there is one perk that is very, very useful to us. And that perk is Marauder, which makes dungeon chests 20% cheaper. So that means whenever someone runs a dungeon and they get a rare item, they can buy that item for 20% cheaper than the normal price. And if an item is cheaper to get, well, the price of the item is going to go down too. So look, you probably don't care, but here's how we're going to make money off this. Paul gets elected, average price of dungeon items goes way down. We invest all of our money into dungeon items when they're really, really low in price, and then guess what? Once Paul is no longer elected and the price to get the item goes back up, well, the auction price is going to go up too, and we're going to be able to sell the items for much more money than we bought them for. So here's the deal. I bought 12 recombobulators for 4.9 mil each, 6 pairs of wither leggings for 4.8 mil each, a Soul Eater 5 book for 15 mil, 4 liver daggers for 6 mil each, 2 spirit boots for 2.8 mil each, and finally 2 wither cloaks for 2.8 mil each as well. After 5 days, Paul was no longer mayor, and I was ready to sell my first batch of items. I sold the spirit boots, the wither cloaks, all of the liver daggers, and half of the wither leggings. After a few more days, I came back and found that everything had sold, so I sold the rest of the items too. Finally, after a couple more days, I came back to collect my paycheck and to see how much money we'd made from this investment. And the answer? It was pretty decent. We started at 149 mil, and by the end of it, we were at 166.5 mil. So that's about a 17.5 mil profit, or a 12.5% return on investment. Not bad at all. But anyway, I am completely out of footage, so this is where we're gonna have to end today's episode of Dirt to Hyperion. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing, because it really helps me out. I am so close to 100k. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.